So the first thing is both Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can see here pretty well since the beginning of the year. We've got Ethereum up is now outperforming Bitcoin by more than 2.5 times. So partake in that. That it doesn't happen a lot. So just be aware that yes, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and 25.7% versus 9.6. Charts don't lie, do they? Anyways, everyone's also going to want to know about oil. How's oil been doing? Well, oil has been really flat since November here. Not much performance, actually been negative. That's all just, to me, it's just all due to demand destruction globally, especially for China, India as well. So they're getting really careful. And you can see here in this Ichimoku cloud, most of it's been negative. And there's been a patch here of some positive, but negative. But the funny thing is, one commodity that's been outperforming yet again almost 3 times is sugar. And I think this leads into why the Fed is not going to cut, because a lot of the commodities have not declined. And because of the economy, a lot of the commodities have not declined in or depreciated in value. The Fed is forced to just keep interest rates pat. But if the economy improves, then what you'll see is the inflation accelerate again, and it probably will go much higher than the peak of 9%. So that's what they fear. And if they want to print money as their solution, let them. I won't be here in North America, and I'm hopefully the next year won't be here in the West. So enjoy that. So let's see gold here. Now, the funny thing about this is I've lined up different gold and different currencies. As you can see here, let me just go first over the Forex world. Right here is, again, let's see here. This goes all the way back to the beginning of the year. Euro, US dollars negative. Meanwhile, the weaker currencies, which was the same as the last weakness, about 15 or so, 2015, both the Swiss franc and the yen weakened. You can see here that right now for the last, I believe it was last month, or well, since the beginning of the year, Swiss franc has outperformed even the Japanese yen. But these are two consistently decent places to go if the world started to crash. I think if that was the case, and I've been seeing that when there's declines, you will see the Scandinavian currencies weaken, and as a result, those are consistent. When you look at, they diverge against or an indirect relationship between those Scandinavian, Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish perform indirectly against the performance of the U.S. stock markets. So they will weaken, and that will be another place to go. U.S. dollar is obviously the big one that controls everything. So this is the dollar index. And what's predicted is there could be a crash where the DXY may go as low as 90 by the end of the year. So if we look at a 5-year, we're going back to the start of the pandemic, where the dollar was hitting about net 90. So oddly enough, they triggered that global virus, and it's somewhat stayed stable sideways since here, January 23. All right, so let's go all the way back to the weakest point. You can see here that the dollar in 08 in the crisis did go down to $70 to 70 cents. So if there is any form of a decline, even a crash, we could hit these lows. And that wasn't even with the BRICS competing against the dollar. So there you go for the currency space. Now that brings me back to the gold. Now, as I said, if you have weak currencies like the Swiss franc and the yen, what will happen to gold price? So here, comparatively, again, since beginning of the year, this is important. If you want to get performance on gold, do not look at gold in US dollar. Okay. You have to look at gold in the weak currencies, which currently is the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. That's where you'll get some performance with gold. Another one that I've seen is gold in the New Zealand dollar as well. So let's see if that will show up. Looks like it's got a, let me try again. XAU NZD. Okay, there we go. So you can see here also that gold and New Zealand dollars also performed as well. But the franc, the Swiss franc, and the yen is one of the ones you want to look at. All right, so we've looked at the dollar index down. These two for Forex is in this pattern, US dollar and the franc or US dollar and the yen are positive. So that brings me back to what I was looking at in terms of gold. As I said, the weak currencies will outperform the US dollar. Now, this could flip when the US dollar starts to really decline, as maybe if there's a real big problem, it could go down to 70 cents. All right, so we'll show you the index, the markets right now. So these are doing okay, but look at the US 30. So again, beginning of the year, you're only getting 3.8%. If I was to throw the NASDAQ in there, when you look at companies like NVIDIA performing, you would expect the NASDAQ up 6%, but yet look at the Japanese, the Nikkei, 9.75%. And it just hit its high tonight as well. You see Germany has been performing okay. So again, this is since the beginning of the year. This is last month or so. But U.S. markets are a lot weaker. And another one that might be a surprise, or actually two of them, is the France 40 or the CAC. So right here, you can see that the France is up 7.7%, so it's doing better than Germany. And let me get rid of one of these, NASDAQ. Germany I'll get rid of as well. The other one that's been really taken off lately, it's been steep, is the Netherlands, 25. Well, maybe this one right here. And, or is it right there? There's your leader right there, 9.96. That's global market indices. Okay, so right now, number one is Netherlands. When you look at the 5-day, you can see here, Japan is up immensely, while the U.S. has been negative. So I just wanted to highlight that to you, that the European markets, oddly enough, are outperforming the U.S. All right, so that's all I could show you for now. I'm showing you major commodities of gold, oil, U.S. oil, but sugar's performing pretty nice. Up that high, pretty good. Since, again, October this time. Bitcoin, in this case, Ethereum's outperforming Bitcoin. Gold, you want best performance, stick with the weak currencies, the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. The DXY has kind of gone flat a little bit. And as I said, the best markets right now have been France, Japan, Germany, somewhat, the Deutsche as well. We'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.